Donald Trump is having a catastrophic morning right now. We are now learning that the Trump regime killed 8 Iranian soldiers in the strikes against Iran last night and into the morning. Donald Trump, at his disastrous NATO appearance, also declared the MOU dead. He said that he is thinking about invading Karg Island. He also started to attack Spain and NATO. Now, oil prices are up massively right now. The price of crude is over $80 a barrel. Donald Trump is crashing markets. And then Donald Trump had the audacity during his NATO press conferences to say affordability is a hoax and that the American people are living through a golden age and they have never been richer right now. I'll go through everything that just went down on Donald Trump's catastrophic morning. So here is what we are learning. 8 Iranian soldiers were killed by the Trump regime in those attacks, and Iran is saying that they will get their revenge. This follows also Donald Trump saying the Iranian people are a cancer and he will eradicate the cancer. He says he is considering targeting desalination facilities, energy grids, and other civilian infrastructure like bridges. As noted at the outset, Brent crude oil has officially broken back above $80 a barrel, and Iran has now announced if the United States conducts any additional strikes, the Strait of Hormuz will be closed. Donald Trump said there will be strikes taking place at any moment right now. We should all expect, as I've been saying now for many, many days and weeks, the Strait of Hormuz will be closed. Oil will get to about $100 a barrel again, and the markets will absolutely crash right now. And we are now hitting, and we have hit, tank bottom on our strategic reserves. What Donald Trump just did was a fatal decision for the global economy and for Americans. The suffering, sadly, will increase. Iran says it will fully close the Strait of Hormuz on any further attack by the United States. Iran says it will strike the U.S. and any other enemy targets at a ratio of at least 2-to-1. For every Iranian target hit, at least 2 U.S. targets will be struck in return. And we know that Iran hit about 85 U.S. targets in Kuwait and Bahrain this morning after the U.S. strikes began last night. Iran also was able to strike at least one MQ-9 Reaper, maybe other Reaper drones as well. Iran has also announced the MOU is officially dead after Donald Trump said that he will no longer be following the MOU. Iran says they have a clear mandate, and their mandate is even clearer right now based on the tens of millions of people who showed up to Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral. Iran says it is prepared for an all-out war for the survival of its civilization, and it also told its Arab nation neighbors, prepare, we will strike your energy grids, we will strike your desalination facilities, we will strike your LNG facilities, and we will not hold back if the United States does exactly what Donald Trump has threatened he would do at NATO. And just think about it, Donald Trump is saying all of this at NATO, weakening the alliance, and, this just makes the United States look like the weakest, most pathetic thing imaginable. It's horrifying to me as an American to just observe what took place this morning. A source close to Iran's MB Ghalibaf says this conflict may escalate to the energy infrastructure of countries in the Gulf in the coming hours. Iran is ready to bring down the global economy right now. They've had the plan ready to go, and they're ready to bring it down because of the Trump regime's attack and threats and now killing of the Iranian soldiers, and that Trump says we're going to wipe Iran off the face of the map. And so Iran says, naturally, this is the survival of our civilization. So of course we're going to attack the American-led global economic structure because you're trying to kill us. That's what you said. Iran is suspending all settlement discussions with the United States, obviously. Why would they be having any communications at all? And just take a look at what Donald Trump looked like during NATO this morning at some of these breakout sessions. You see him there next to Keir Starmer. I mean, Trump looks so sickly and unwell. You see Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni behind him as Donald Trump was kind of isolated and alone. And Donald Trump was posting that he wants a restraining order against her because Donald Trump was implying that she was like harassing him and just wants photos with him. That's how Donald Trump treats NATO allies, even ones who are right-wing politicians who you would think would be aligned with Donald Trump. Here he is looking at the Prime Minister of Spain right here. And then Donald Trump, the Prime Minister of Spain said, I talked to Donald Trump today, and when we talked, we were pretty normal and we didn't have there was nothing strange in our conversation. In other words, Trump wouldn't say it to my face. But when Donald Trump was in front of the media, he said, and we need to get rid of Spain from NATO, get rid of him, Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, get rid of Spain. And he's now threatening to do embargoes on Spanish goods and products. And he says Spain is a horrible country and horrible people. That's what Donald Trump was doing while he was rotting away at NATO with those hands that looked very, very, very rough, by the way. Donald Trump, I played this clip before, but I think it deserves mentioning now. Donald Trump said that the ceasefire is dead and it's over. He said Iran is scum. They're cuckoo, the ultimate projection here. He goes, good guys, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, the good guys. Iran, they're scum, they're cuckoo. No, you're scum, Donald Trump. You're cuckoo, Donald Trump. Witkoff and Jared Kushner are scumbags, and you've turned the United States you destroyed our reputation. This is, again, future generations will look back at this the way they look back at Nazi Germany. That's how they will look at this. Here, play this clip.
Is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo.
Then Donald Trump says that, the Iranians, they're trying to kill me. They want to kill me. Did you see? He's talking about also the massive funeral for Ayatollah Khamenei that Trump is like jealous of, where there were all the signs of like kill Trump, all the signs basically said that. And then Donald Trump says, but they're the cancer and I'm going to eradicate them from the map. Here, play this clip.
Their first set of leaders, we took out their second set of leaders. They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list. I saw things this morning. I'm on every single one of their lists. And so far, I guess I've been a little bit lucky, but that maybe doesn't last very long because that's the way it goes. But we have great people. But these are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Their cancer. And you know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early. Man, that's the way I feel.
Look, I hear from people in our pro-democracy community every single day who have a brilliant business idea, but they're hesitant to take the leap. I get it. Starting can feel incredibly daunting, but if you've been sitting on a business idea, Shopify makes it easy to make it happen. Everything you need to start selling is included and ready from day one. We knew we needed a platform that was completely bulletproof for our global community, which is why we built the MeidasTouch store entirely on Shopify. We didn't want corporate standard tech. We wanted something that just worked. The biggest game changer for the MeidasTouch store has been the checkout process, including the moment your first customer is ready to pay. Shopify checkout helps more of them finish their purchase, and when they come back to grab our latest gear, their details are already saved, One tap via Shop Pay and they're completely done. Making your customers' lives easier makes your life easier, and that's a massive win-win. Because Shopify handles all the technical setup and the checkout security, you actually have more time to focus on growing your business and utilizing the tools to do it. You shouldn't be wasting your precious time fixing broken back-end code or server mistakes. You want a platform that scales with you effortlessly. With Shopify, nothing stands between your idea and a real business, so go make it one. If you're ready to stop putting off your business and start hearing, then you're ready for Shopify. Start your free trial at shopify.com/Meidas today. You heard that right. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/Meidas. That's shopify.com/Meidas. MEIDAS.
By the way, did you see those massive crowds in Iraq, in Najaf, for Ayatollah Khomeini's funeral procession that moved from Tehran to Qom, now Najaf? Now, obviously, the crowds, millions of people showing up in Iraq is a big deal, but there's a geopolitical dynamic to this as well that you should be aware of. As Danny Citronix explains, and this was a former Israeli intelligence officer who studied the region, who's very critical of Netanyahu and Trump, and especially the way this war has been handled, this catastrophic and unlawful war. This is what he says. He says, so Iraq has a new prime minister, Ali al-Zaidi, who was like a compromise pick, but was really kind of pushed by the United States. But he was kind of a compromise pick. There was another guy, Maliki, who was closer to Iran. And so Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, immediately went to Iraq, because one of the things that they were worried about was the U.S. installing al-Zaidi, the new prime minister of Iraq, as a puppet for the Trump regime. And so Araghchi rushes to assess Iraq's prime minister because they're deeply concerned that Iraq could come under American pressure through al-Zaidi. So then holding Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral in Iraq and showing how massively the Shiite community showed up for the Ayatollah sends a message to al-Zaidi. It's actually a show of force that Iran has massive influence over Iraq. And okay, you're going to come and attack Iran. We're going to, we will bring back the war in Iraq. Okay, we will activate the Shiite community and everywhere. You want us to shut down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait in the Red Sea? Yeah, we can do that with the Houthis. You want to play that game? By the way, they haven't even played the Bab el-Mandeb card yet, Iran, and Iran could play that. The Houthis previously were able to fairly easily shut down the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. And so pay attention to that. Now, in addition to Trump's erratic policy proclamations, as you know, he called Iran the Islamic Republic of Japan and said Japan shot 111 missiles at us. He called Zelensky President Putin. And then he said, ask me questions. Pretend I'm Putin, ask me questions, and I'll answer for Putin. The United States president is saying he's going to answer as if he's Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump called the JCPOA nuclear deal JCPOC, like Tupac. He said, the JCPOC, the JCPOC, and then he continued to attack Spain. I'll just show you just an example of what he said. They're hopeless. Don't even talk to Spain. I don't like Spain. By the way, you talked to the prime minister of Spain there and had a normal conversation. You won't say it to his face, but this is how you behave. It is so grotesque to me that we have such a loser scumbag as the United States president. Here, play this clip.
Well, we don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right? Sure. Take it immediately. Don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people, because they have everybody else going and paying and working in Spain, in particular Spain. There are a couple of others, but in particular Spain.
And then Donald Trump goes to Zelensky, would you go to Moscow? And Zelensky's like, too many Ukrainian drones in Moscow. It's probably the best line of the only good moment, or the only moment where it was like, at least someone speaking the language of strength, at least. Here, play this clip.
And I said, I don't think, I have to put myself in his position. I don't know that he'd go to Moscow. Maybe he would. Would you go to Moscow?
It's difficult. There are a lot of Ukrainian drones there. That's right. It's dangerous. Europe.
No, it's hard. It's hard to go to Moscow.
Then Donald Trump says inflation is down and everything is great. Let's play it.
Announced on Truth Social a couple days ago that Walmart was cutting the price for ground beef by 15%. How big of a deal is that for American customers this summer?
So Walmart has agreed to cut their prices very substantially because things are going down. We're getting it down. We inherited very high prices. We inherited the highest prices in the history of our country, or 48 years to be exact, but I don't believe that. I think it's in history. So under Biden, they had tremendous inflation. Under the Democrats, we had tremendous inflation, record-setting inflation. And now, inflation is way down. Everything is great. We have, the prices are coming down, but we inherited, they talk about they use different words to describe it. They had very high prices. The prices are coming down.
This is what he's saying at NATO, in front of, by the way, the president of Syria. He's saying this in front of. Affordability is a phony word, he says. Let's play this clip.
And right now, eggs are way down. The prices are way down, and they're coming down further. So they made up a phony word that they used. They said affordability. They're the ones that caused the affordability prices. I did, but I brought it down. And the oil is coming down very big.
Mr. President, Brent crude is up slightly today.
And then while Donald Trump was doing all of that, he has all of his kind of Trump sycophants on the various media networks. He has MAGA Republican Congressmember McCormick and Maria Bartiromo talking about regime change and like these bloodthirsty neocon Netanyahu and Trump sycophants in this MAGA party. They're like, we need regime change, regime change. And really? You saw the tens of millions. You're going to do regime change, really, in Iran? Are you paying attention? Are these the dumbest, idiotic people who are in power imaginable? Yeah, you're going to do regime change. That seems to be very easy. With whose lives, you idiots? I mean, who are these? I mean, these genocidal idiots running America. Here, play this clip.
We'll be dealing with this.
Well, when you say finish this, and I know that a lot of people have said that, finish the job, what specifically do you mean? I mean, the president has said many times that Iran has been obliterated. What more does the U.S. need to do to finish the job in your view?
Unconditional surrender, regime change.
And then you have Trump's CFTC chairman, Michael Selig, dismisses, one of the things that Congress is saying is, look, we should do some sort of like Bitcoin regulation that says Donald Trump can't be trading like this, and that Donald Trump shouldn't be involved in commodities markets and profiting off of the White House. To which the head of the CFTC says, these are extraneous mission creep that Democrats want. It's just extraneous mission. What words are you using? Extraneous, mission creep, extraneous. Just be normal. Just be normal humans. So you shouldn't be making $2 billion from the White House while the American people are suffering. It's supposed to be public service. What are these idiots saying? This whole regime is the most corrupt group of scummy human lowlives imaginable. Here, play this clip.
I mean, is it that the Democrats are stopping the progress because of ethics issues and trying to get specific language in there about President Trump and his family and crypto?
Well, there's certainly some mission creep beyond what's really critical here. We want to set standards and protect consumers, protect investors, and that's something that Democrats and Republicans should be able to get behind. I do think there's a little bit of this creep into ethics and other types of extraneous issues, and they're just derailing this real opportunity to have a bipartisan bill in place. Otherwise, you end up with regulators like me writing all the rules, and I'm sure all the Democrats would prefer to get something in place that's bipartisan.
I mean,
there you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.